okay.
Also, you're
but
playing
that's okay.
in Settle the Wreckage. Just have all the mana in the world.
Oh, well, that's true.
You have all the mana in the world to work with.
For Benjamin Nikolich, he has 2 Dispels, 2 Vendilion Clicks, 2 Celestial Purge, 2 Surgical Extraction, 2 Ceremonious Rejection, a Negated Baneslayer, a Lyra Dawnbringer, a Timely Reinforcements, and a Wear Terror.
I like the Timely, the Lyra, the Baneslayer. The 2 Surgicals are obviously great, and I think the 2 Purges are good here as well.
All right, these players are waiting for the green light. Let's. I just want to see Nikolich lose to Lavax now.
Yeah.
I like Benjamin a lot. He'll probably write an awesome article for us this week about why Settle the Wreckage is the truth and why Wrath effects stink.
I'm typically pretty anti-foil. There are a few cards that are very pro-foil. Lava Axes.
Oh.
Lava Axes, I would dust off the legacy joints and just let them rip.
Well, if anybody wants to get in Patrick's good graces, foil Lava Axe his way.
Oh my God! I hope he's boarded him in. I mean,
here is a Thoughtseize. A couple of lands here for Nikolich and Sulphur Falls and Flooded Strand. You'll also see a pretty good hand here. Settle the Wreckage, Cryptic Command, Electrolyze, Path Exile, and a Celestial Purge. Let me ask you a question. What are you at?
Let me ask you something.
What are you at? I hope you say 5.
That is so good. They're actually in his sideboard.
Mm-hmm. I hope they're nice ones, too.
There really aren't that many nice ones. There's the Ursa Legacy ones.
You know what my favorite part of this is? Lavax is a standard legal card, and we bring all standard legal cards to the booth.
Oh, we were ready.
So we had them.
That's part of the hook.
We had them.
You register your sideboard wrong? Well, I got some good news for you. We have just the people to help you out.
We have the card. So for those of you who may misregister Lightning Axe for Lavax and thinking I don't have 2, bang!
I'll tell you something. You definitely did not have all standard legal cards when I played in the Invitational and had to buy boosters looking for walking corpses a few years ago. Which actually ended up being kind of dope. Because I bought my first pack of Innistrad. There was no walking corpse in it, but there was a Liliana the Veil, which I traded in for whatever, 20-something packs.
More boosters.
Just
keep going.
Just win infinite.
Yeah, keep going. Thoughtseize will take care of a Path to Exile. Well, I think we're going to have a Faithless looting here from Daniel Will.
Lost playing for top 8 in that one.
That's a bad beat.
Heartbreak.
That's a bad beat right there, I must say.
Also at that Invitational, I couldn't find 4 death marks in my sideboard.
Okay.
And I was, what am I going to do? And Ricky's like, okay, Ricky Hayashi, the head judge, is like, you register them. If you can find them, go ahead and put them in your sideboard. Otherwise, you sideboard 11 cards, and you tell your opponent at the start of the match you're missing 4 death marks from your sideboard. So I sit down and play against Todd Anderson.
Okay.
And I go, I'm missing 4th death marks.
Okay.
For my sideboard,
yep.
And he goes, turn 1 Rager Bird's Thicket, and starts laughing like he can't even handle it. And then I lose a game 3 set where Death Mark would have been really nice.
Probably good.
Really nice.
Probably good.
Sideboard games, yeah. It was great.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's how that goes sometimes. Got a Blood Gas here now. What? Do you know that card? I bet you don't know that card.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
No.
Come on.
I don't have it.
I don't have it either. Where's the deck list? It mills you for 2, and it's got a screaming type name. Daniel Will. Shriekhorn.
Yeah.
There it is. Enters the battlefield with 3 charge counters. Remove a charge counter. Mill 2.
I'll tell you what, these Dredge players aren't picky. They'll play any card.
They'll take any garbage card.
Any card.
Any garbage card to put stuff in the graveyard. I get it. They will play even Lava X. They'll play anything. They'll play anything.
Anything.
Is that? Do you sign that mountain?
Yes.
That's you.
That is my signature.
That's you.
That is my signature.
All right. There's a Sulphur Falls. Let's head back over to Daniel Will. On the upkeep, Shriekhorn yourself.
Ooh, there's the Thug.
There, yep.
Now.
That's good deck building. Dredge 4. Scourge Devil, Narcomoeba.
Some nice dredges.
Stinkweed Imp.
Nice
Mountain, signed by Patrick Sullivan. We are going off. Going off. Beatdowns, in for 5. There's a Celestial Purge. Take care of that amalgam for good. Big follow-up here. Cathartic Reunion. This is a big dredge coming. Stinkweed Imp and Thug will go to the graveyard. Let's start by dredging a Thug, shall we? 5 cards. 1 is a Bloodstained Mire. Ooh, do it nice and slow so I can read them all. Next up, Copperline Gorge, Bloodstained Mire, Shriekhorn, Toot Toot, Gemstone Mine, Dredge 5.
Good roster of cards.
Yeah, all in the graveyard where they deserve to be. Next up, Stomping Ground, Cathartic Reunion, Shriekhorn, Narcomoeba, Faithless Looting, not bad. Let's dredge a Thug, Stinkweed Imp, Life from the Loam, Bloodghast, all right.
That's a really nice there. As he gets the Narcomoeba here for his trouble, and now what Dredge can do in spots like this is start pivoting to Loam. The Loam gets a lot more attractive with the 2 Bloodghast in the graveyard too, and then you have a Confligate to maybe burn out if Nikolich gets into a position where he can stabilize the battlefield.
Well, a lot of cards placed in the graveyard. Nikolich with only 2 lands on the battlefield. We know his hand, Settle the Wreckage, Electrolyze, some goodies like that. And there's a Bloodstained Mire. Trigger, return those copies of Bloodghast, so they're back in the battlefield. And Bloodghast is a pain in the neck for Jessica to deal with, though this is part of the reason that Nikolich moved to Settle the Wreckage.
Yeah, Supreme Verdict is not great against this crew of misfits.
Well, Nikolich is just going to play a land and pass the turn back. His turns are so simple, so boring, as Daniel Will is going to... But he's probably got to untap the old Shriekhorn, right? A little toot loot. Probably untap that too. He's going to start on the upkeep, looks like, by sacrificing his Bloodstained Mire. Interesting. See what the plan is here.
I mean, my level 1 intuition here is you want to do something with the Scourge. You want to do something with the Scourge Devil this turn before Nikolich has the opportunity to threaten Settle the Wreckage. You also want to start dredging the Loam sometime soon to try to get to Confligate, because winning this game just through combat damage is going to be a little tricky.
All right, he's going to dredge Stinky. Copperline Gorge. Conflagrates, 2 of them, along with a Dark Blast. And now Scourge Devil. I mean, we're trying to go for the win here. Or close to it.
Well, you know that Nikolich can electrolyze some of your board away here. You get in a lot of damage for your trouble.
Yep.
And then if he starts holding up Settle the Wreckage, then you pivot to the Confligate plan.
Here's an island.
Which is why this turn I was expecting Will to go for Loam instead.
Okay.
I guess he can go to Loam next turn, whatever. If he's already committing his 3 mana to getting back the Scourge Devil, then you might as well mill yourself for as much as possible, and then the following turn start Loaming.
Yes. Plus he has the ability next turn to still dredge Loam, cast Loam,
Right,
get a land back and still fire off Conflagrate, so he's still doing all right. A quick count of what can deal the most damage. This is going to be a Snapcaster Mage on Path, as opposed to an Electrolyze. I think you want to cast Electrolyze. Maybe not, though.
If he doesn't have land 4 rolled up, he might have to go Snapcaster, Path my Snapcaster.
Oh,
Okay, that's
Path
okay.
Bloodghast, okay. So I think his plan is to block Scourge Devil, Path of Bloodghast, take 2, 4, 5, 6, 10.
Yep, takes a ton.
It's all about staying alive if you're Benjamin Nikolich. All right. Scourge Devil, Unearth, gone for good. Draw a card. Hallowed Fountain untapped. Ugh. Guess not. It'll be a Flooded Strand. Pass the turn back. Will Nikolich over to Daniel Will, who hasn't found the need to fire off the old toot toot. That last counter on Shriekhorn. Dredge Loam here. 1 is Dark Blast, 2 is Narcomoeba, 3 is Life from the Loam. Trigger on the Narcomoeba, it'll enter the battlefield here. As long as Daniel wants it to, which I can't imagine he doesn't. So now if you're Daniel, you've seen Settle the Wreckage. He just says, I'm going to play, well, attack step. How many cards in hand? A bunch.
Yeah, it's complicated because if you just, let's say you attack with half of your battlefield here, he just casts the Electrolyze, and you're up against the same spot the next turn.
Yep. So what we might have here is actually Cryptic Command tap and do something.
But then you're at risk of just getting get killed by Confligate here.
I think he's at risk of. I think he just might die to it anyway.
Yeah, if Will's got 5 cards in hand, then
5, so 4 for Loam, up to 7, down to 6 for the land. Fireball you. Right?
yeah.
That's my count.
Oh, and if I have lethal rolled up here, there is no way I'm not Shriek-horning Nikolich on the way out the door.
Oh yeah, I love it. I think this might be cryptic. Tap your squad, bounce a land. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he can't. Okay.
Yeah. Nikolich is like, all right, I'm dead. Oh yeah, and also he can just configure him 4/5 because he has 5 cards in his hand.
Right. Yeah.
So he doesn't
There's
even need it.
there's nothing to be done.
All right. Well, Daniel Will can tie things up here against Benjamin Nikolich. Dredge doesn't get decked that time. I can't believe he decked him in the first game as they're all tied up here. Our Dredge and Jeskai control for Nikolich. Looks like he might be going back to the drawing board a little bit here. Again, we expect to see Celestial Purge in. We expect to see Surgical Extraction in. We might see Negate in. I think you're almost certainly going to see Baneslayer and Lyra in.
Yeah, as you can see in that game, it's kind of hard to manage the game just by removal, even having the right mixture of removal. And I think there's some argument for Nikolich trying to get the game over with a little bit faster, too. So I think the Angels are just excellent. They don't necessarily line up with Confligate the best way every single time, but it's a really good blocker, and there's spots where Will can have a big advantage on the battlefield and not be able to do anything with it.
As for Daniel, well, just could we get the axe? I don't really have anything. I don't have anything else productive to say.
On camera, you came up to me earlier today. You had me sign your mountains. The one thing that I would want more than anything is to have an axe on camera.
And Patrick doesn't ask for much.
Very little.
Very, very little.
But this opportunity is like a once in a lifetime, like quite literally. This may never be in a sideboard on camera in the elimination rounds ever again. I would bet against it.
I'm with you.
So help me out.
No bet.
So help me out. It's the same thing. He could have gotten to 5 mana that game easily. Once he starts loaming, what's the difference?
What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Well, you have to take a draw step to find lava axe.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Or it's your opening hand. The dude, he's got 4 Nature's Claims. You got to draw those too.
That's true. Yeah, it's the same thing. That's the same thing. That's the same thing.
You've yet to come up with a difference.
They're right. That's on me. I'll work on that. Well, two players going to take a look at their opening hands. You just got to embrace it. Plus, you got to think of the tilt equity. Killing someone with a lava axe?
I know.
Oh,
on
boy.
camera?
Yo, best of SCG Tour moment right there.
Put it face down, slide it towards them. I don't want to make a big deal out of this, but
you don't have to turn it over. We can just call it what it is.
You know.
Mm-hmm. All right, Thoughtseize. Daniel, we're going to search up a Blood Crypt. Let's see what Nikolich has here. I see a Plains, Sacred Foundry, Sulphur Falls, Settle the Wreckage, Electrolyze, Negate, kicking things off with a Celestial Colonnade. So we'll see what Daniel wants to take here as he's kicked himself down to 15 already.
Yeah, I mean, all these cards are relevant, so it's just an issue of, does he have is his Dredge Enabler a spell? Then he probably needs to take the Negate, and then if not, one of the 2 removal spells.
Yeah. Decisions here. Looks like some good penmanship. Where's his deck list? It's good penmanship.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yes.
I like it. Let's go over to Benjamin Nikolich now. Settle the Wreckage. Gone. Play Plains. Pass the turn back. We'll go back over to Daniel Will. Second land looks like it's going to be a Copperline Gorge. And now we're going to go to Cathartic Reunion, it appears. Though
into a Negate? I mean,
yeah.
I guess if his hand's that graveyard-oriented, it's fine.
Sure.
Yep.
If he wants those creatures in the graveyard, I mean, it looks bad, but not really.
Well, I was going to say with Loam in hand, it seems easier just to cast the Loam If that gets negated, who cares?
Sure.
And you get a land back instead of being down those 2 cards, but I guess they're better in your graveyard anyway.
Yeah, now on his turn, as the Sacred Foundry is going to enter the battlefield untapped, he can cast Loam, get the fetch, get the Bloodghast, all that.
More of my point, so I think whether or not you cast Loam or Reunion that turn, it's not that big of a difference, but from my perspective, it's just I want to have the Reunion back in my hand. I might be able to bleed the negate out some other way or get him to tap out on his own turn and then go wild with it. You know it's going to get negated, and if that's the case, then why not just open up with Loam? You get to start dredging the same way. There's no way your Reunion resolved, so...
There's Bloodghast. It's back. Amalgam will be back. There it is. And now we head back over to Benjamin Nikolich, who we know he has Electrolyze in hand. 1-1 doesn't really get you too far, because that's a fetch land on the battlefield. I think he might just be better served just saying 2 to you.
No way. Come on. At least make him use a fetch. At
least make him fetch?
Maybe do something. It's not like the Bloodghast has haste next turn. So.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's just going to fetch on the end step and get it back.
Well, then make him do it. I don't know. Then he's down his fetch land.
Okay. Like if the argument is down his fetch land as opposed to taking 2 points, because like your plan might be to burn him out. I don't know if that's reasonable or not. It depends on Nikolich's configuration after sideboard.
Sure.
I don't know if he's trying to bolt Snapcaster him out. I mean, he decked him in game 1. Don't know if that was his plan either.
Unless Will is willing to go to Loam very early on in the game, it's not like he has an unlimited reservoir of landfall. Like, it probably doesn't amount to something, but it might. And the 1 point of damage seems really unlikely to matter, but it's really thin either way.
Let's go back over to Daniel Will. He's got his Bloodghast back. He's going to dredge a Loam. That's an Amalgam. That's a Cathartic Reunion. That is a Copperline Gorge. So Loam back in hand, and might be cast this turn. We'll see. I think this is an easy place to start. Come in here. You've already taken the Settle the Wreckage out of Nikolich's hand. You know he's playing 3 main deck copies this weekend. Loam. Maybe. Yes. Copperline Gorge and Wooded Foothills are the target. Nikolich weighing his options here. He's got another copy and a gate in hand.
Yeah, keep in mind Cryptic Command not an option right now. It's on Plains plus Sacred Foundry.
So it looks like Loam will resolve. What else Daniel Will got going on this turn? We know he's got a Golgari Thug in hand.
Just keep adding to the clock.
Yeah, put the Goon Squad out there. Play Wooded Foothills. He doesn't want to get the Thug out there just yet. Too stinky of a card to actually cast. Hallowed Fountain looks like it might be the card that Nikolich does search up. He will, and it's going to enter the battlefield tapped. Keep in mind, winner of this match is going to go up against the dominant Annalise Faustino later today. She's been dominant all weekend long with Mono Green Tron, number 2 overall seed here in our elimination rounds. Cryptic Command the draw. Well, there's another source of blue mana and Sulfur Falls. Okay, well, there's the test. Baneslayer Angel is one of 2 angels with flying, first strike, and lifelink in Nikolich's deck. The other one, of course, is Lyra. And this is the ultimate roadblock because now you kind of wish you did have Lightning Axe, not Lava Axe.
Conflagrate's still good.
Yep.
With the Loam here. Well, maybe not. It's not like he just gets to draw 3 necessarily.
It's true. Also has to turn over a Conflagrate because there's not one in the graveyard. So, Narcomoeba going to enter the battlefield from the dredge. But Lyra ready to, Baneslayer Angel ready to stand supreme on this battlefield. Sacrifice the Wooded Foothills. Will Daniel Will?
And one of the nice things about the uptick in blue-white control decks in Modern is just a lot more angels in the board.
Yeah. such an interesting tool, too, because people know that it's coming, and there's not – I don't want to say there's nothing you can do about it, but it's difficult.
You can't leave in a bunch of creature removal against these decks.
Yeah, you can't, right?
You can have a copy or two, hope things line up the right way, or hope that you're faster than it, or you have some workaround, but you can't just keep it on your removal. It's nice in a format that's just so fast and so powerful that there's still room for – there's a 5-mana Angel on my sideboard because it's just dope sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't think the format would age that way, but –
There's Copperline Gorge. Well, Baneslayer Angel is live. It's time. Oh, Teferi, too. Jeez. Sometimes power level just wins games.
yeah.
Sometimes that's just how it works. You can have all the synergy in the world.
The historically, I'm not being sarcastic here, historically underrated strategy of play with powerful cards. And just cast them.
Not underrated to me.
And now Nikolich is set up with negate backup, so the Confligate, should it come over here, won't even be able to get the Baneslayer.
Well, maybe Dark Blast will take care of it.
That's going to be a lot of dredging.
Dark Blast among the cards that have been placed in the graveyard from the dredge. The anecdote that I like to draw is, sometimes your team just has LeBron, so you win.
Right.
Sometimes talent just wins. Sometimes I just have Baneslayer and Teferi, and it doesn't matter that your deck is super synergistic.
And you have 1/1 flyer, 2/1 can't block. I don't even know the text on Golgari Thug. I couldn't even tell you what that thing did.
2-mana 1/1, dredge 4.
I know that part.
Okay. When it dies, you may place a creature from your – I think you're forced to place a creature from your graveyard on top of your deck. I think you're actually forced.
That's a really nice thing with dredge, too, because you can forget the creature you put over and just dredge it into the graveyard again.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Is this an attack? This is bold cotton.
Well, I like a block here.
I would tender. I would. That's good. Getting early.
Let's see what's up. Let's see what's up next.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what you got over there, but I'll say this. I'm interested to find out. This would be a good spot for Lava Axe.
Yeah. See you later, Teferi.
No, it doesn't work that way anymore.
Oh, you're right. You can't redirect.
A victim of the rules change.
Teferi not playing catch. Not playing catch. You're right. You're right.
That was a bold attack.
I will tender a block.
Yeah. I'll block.
Yeah.
Guess I'll block.
All right, it's dead. Sometimes you just gotta know. All right. Going to dredge back a couple of lands.
And at this point, Nikolich is not interested in fighting over these loams. What he wants to do is eventually save it for a Confligate, keep the Angel back. Basically, as long as the game looks like this, where he has a Baneslayer and he has the ability to protect it, Will can't really make any forward progress.
No.
And Nikolich is going to accrue a serious advantage over time with this Teferi.
I just say keep your eyes on that Dark Blast. Keep your eyes on that Dark Blast. I'd be looking to shoot down a Baneslayer Angel.
I don't know if Will plays with enough black sources of mana to even do that.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that he does.
Oh no, he's got the gemstone mines. He could I'm sure he could dock more salvage probably.
Yeah. Draw a card with Teferi while Nikolich. He's put together his sideboard plan here, which is Baneslayer Angel, Teferi, and cards, which is actually quite good. Here's another good card. Search for his Kanta. Still not willing to attack just yet?
No, Teferi Emblem. He won't sully his hands with the red zone. That's not happening.
That's the plan?
No.
Straight to the emblem?
This is going to be a game with the white gloves on.
Ah, okay. Got it.
Straight to the emblem.
Got it.
Why bother? You're going to have this much fun,
Well, fun is up for debate. I suppose he is having fun.
Teferi Emblem seems really fun to me. I haven't gotten to
You ever been on the receiving end of one?
No.
Okay.
I just concede, man.
Yeah, it's because it's not fun at all.
Yeah, I'm saying that if I had one and my opponent didn't concede, I would have a really good time.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That lends itself to a lot of chin scratching. A lot of, that one.
We're going to do a little dredge here. I played in my RPTQ. I was playing red black, and I was playing against blue white. And my opponent had a Teferi emblem, and it's an RPTQ, so I can't concede. And it's a team RPTQ,
Oh,
so
God.
I definitely can't concede.
I was like, is that a rule of the
Yeah.
RPTQs that I'm not conceding?
So as my opponent was vaporizing my board with every draw step, there was at one point my opponent forgot to announce one, sort of, and I was like, dude, it's fine. And my teammate's like, appeal. And I'm like, all right. And I just won't ever get those 3 minutes back, Matt McCullough.
No, you gotta. No, the thing that you have to do when your opponent, when you have that kind of rule, your team doesn't let you concede. You see the Dark Blast here fizzling an attacker front life game.
Smart.
You have to keep asking him for help.
Lock him into the help.
You have to come over and cup your hand around their ear like you're about to whisper, and go, my opponent has a Teferi emblem, so this is pretty bad. What's the play here? And you just keep doing that until they say, all right, fine, you can concede, stop doing this.
Here's a cryptic command. You can draw a little card here. I'll try that next time.
Yep.
Because that was a counter draw.
Cup your hand around their ear, but speak at a normal volume so everyone can hear you.
The whole thing.
Right.
Okay, got it. I'm looking forward to that when we team together in Denver in a couple weeks.
Why am I playing this out?
Search for Escanta will transform. Benjamin will draw a card. Teferi's going up to 4. Draw another card.
Okay, they have a Teferi emblem. They just discarded a Settle the Wreckage to hand size.
Mm-hmm.
What's the play?
Yeah.
I have a Bomac Courier with no
It's an attack for 5. The white gloves are off.
Okay.
Baneslayer Angel coming in. I imagine Daniel will. Maybe we'll see one more turn. It's just the Baneslayer Angel, unfortunately for him, is here's an Escanta activation. It's too much.
It is. It's a lot.
It's a lot. Surgical. That's not making things easier.
No.
Is surgical extraction. Nikolich just found a nice configuration for this matchup and many of the others he's played.
Oh, I think the blend of Graveyard Interaction, Settle the Wreckage, some really good blockers. Sometimes his cards are not going to line up the right way. That's the nature of playing against Dredge, but I think he's got a really solid game plan.
And oddly enough for Nikolich, he's going to get that rematch next round, it looks like, against Annalise.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think he's favored in that matchup just because he's come to destroy creature decks, and it feels like everything but Tron is what it feels like. Oh, we're going to Thug. Dredge a Thug. Bloodstained Mire, Copperline Gorge, Gemstone Mine, Stinky. Stinky Inky.
I'm really troubled by the notion that because it's a team RPTQ, you can't concede. We've all been playing Magic long enough to know what the 100%ers are. And it's miserable. Playing out a game that's hopeless is miserable.
Play to win.
So that's not
You know my opponent was at while this was happening?
27?
20, actually, is the answer.
Yeah, sure.
I did not deal a point of damage in the first game. With a red deck, I did not deal a point of damage in the first game. Shameful. I still love you, McCullough. I can't wait to see you at Card Kingdom at some point in the future. Here they come. Cryptic Command says no, they don't. Ah, the answer. The Thug.
Just keep adding to the battlefield. Keep expanding his board presence.
Nikolich will untap and draw. Cryptic Command in hand. Surgical Extraction. We'll see if the coast is clear. As he takes a look at the graveyard. Loams are gone. You can take a look at my deck. Here's a land. Here's a colonnade. The gloves are off. The game is over. Benjamin Nikolich going to win this match over Daniel Will. 2-1. Jeskai Control going to take care of Dredge. And for Benjamin Nikolich, number 3 on that SCG Tour leaderboard, it's a rematch with